Beloved Saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Joseph's blessing, part 2, from the second book of redemptive history series, The Covenant of the Torch. Joseph received an amazing blessing from God. In part 1, we learned that Joseph received a blessing of a fruitful bough or a vine. Through this blessing, Joseph lived a life of abundant fruits. Today in part 2, let us examine how Joseph received a blessing of running or climbing over a wall. In Genesis 49 verse 22, it says, Joseph is a fruitful vine near a spring, whose branches climb over a wall. In a different version of this Bible, it says, whose branches run over the wall. Here, this expression of climbing over the wall or running over the wall indicates that Joseph lived a life that always overflowed to plentifully profit others. And so he lived a life where he always benefited others around him. First, because of Joseph, God's blessings came upon Potiphar and all that grew in his field. After Joseph was sold by his brothers to Egypt, he arrived at the house of Potiphar, one of the officials of Pharaoh. Potiphar paid close attention to Joseph, and he witnessed how God was with Joseph and how God made him to prosper in all he did. The Bible testifies that from the time that Joseph was made overseer of the house, the Lord blessed the Potiphar's house. In Genesis 39 verse 5, it says, And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for the Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And so, Potiphar was blessed because of his association with Joseph. Second, Pharaoh and all of the Egyptians and the nearby nations were blessed when Joseph was a governor in Egypt. When Joseph was a governor of Egypt, there was a great famine in the whole world. And the famine was very severe even in the land of Egypt. This is in Genesis 41 verse 56. However, by the grace of God, Joseph already prepared in advance the food to be used in the 7 years of severe famine from the previous 7 years of great abundance. And so even though other nations were suffering because of the famine, while Joseph was the governor, Pharaoh and all of the Egyptians were blessed. In Genesis 47 verse 25 it says, So they said, You have saved our lives. Let us find favor in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's slaves. Here, my Lord is not referring to God. This is referring to Joseph, the governor of Egypt. Because of one person, Joseph, the entire nation was greatly blessed. Third, on account of Joseph, Joseph's father, his brothers, and their families were blessed. Joseph was able to reunite with his brothers when they came to look for food in Egypt because of the severe famine. From his brothers, Joseph was able to hear of the news of his father, Jacob, and that he was still alive. Then Joseph had his father, his brothers, and his brothers' families to come to Egypt. And they were given Goshen, the best of the land, for their possession. Joseph did not spare the best of the land of Egypt and allow them to eat the fat of the land. Also, even after Jacob's death, the death of his father, Joseph provided for his 11 brothers and even their children. In Genesis 50 verse 21 it says, So therefore, do not be afraid. I will provide for you and your little ones. So he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. Beloved saints, This blessing of Joseph to climb over a wall or run over the wall is so amazing and great that wherever he went, all the people that he was associated with, the people that were there wherever he went, were blessed, and all that they possessed was blessed as well. So today, let us receive this blessing of climbing over the wall or running over the wall, so that wherever we go, that we will share our blessing that we received from God to all those around us. I bless in the name of the Lord.